wanted to show you guys a training session with Wish. The behaviors that we're going to work on is working on her holding an object, a new object, which is a fake credit card, which I got in the mail, which I'm not going to get, so it's a great tool for using to teach her to hold something delicately. Then I'm going to work on backwards circles around me and also teach her work on the trick of crossing her paws. So all of these behaviors we've worked on a little bit, and I just want to show you how I use the same space to teach different behaviors. I also, if she's still into it, I'm going to work on teaching her to bow, which I've also worked on before. So first I'm going to work on this card, and I've tried it 3 times just before we started filming, because I wanted to see if it was an appropriate object for her to hold. But previously she's held the baby pacifier and her chewy bone. So I'm going to see how good she is at holding this card. Are you ready? So because the way we've been practicing it, she's been sitting, and I say the cue, take it, I'm going to set it up so it's very similar to the other picture. I could also use the item that she had before and work with that first before switching to the card, but I've lost them, so I don't know where they are. Are you ready? Take it. Good girl. Take it. Good girl. Take it. So if she drops it, I'm just going to give it back to her, wait a second or two, and then click. And then not ask for so much the next time. Ready? Take it. Good girl. I'm also using a secondary reinforcer, which is the word good girl, which I say good girl and give her a treat. But sometimes I just say good girl, sometimes I don't. So that helps her know that even though she's holding the card, she's still doing a good job. You don't have to use that, but that's just something that I do. Okay, so she did really well with that. The next exercise I'm going to work on is teaching her to do backwards circles around my body. Now you might remember that we worked on backwards weaving and I gave tips on how to train that. Well, she's already got the skill of backing up with a lure and also turning with a lure. So it's just a matter of setting the situation up for success to teach her to not just back half a circle around like you would teach a backwards weave, but to go all the way around me. And I'm going to use this couch and this furniture over here, TV stand, to help me. Now if you have a puppy that's scared of backing into something, or they don't have any spatial concepts and don't think that there are things here, then you can try it without the furniture first, or use things that are very soft, so if they did bump into it, it's not going to make a noise or scare your puppy and make them never want to back around you. Are you ready, puppy? So I first started out with just a tiny step, which is I'm turning the treat and clicking her back end, turning slightly, and turning and moving backwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click her moving and then feed further back in the circle. In the same way as if you were teaching your dog to go around you, you would click their movement and feed in the direction they're going. So it's just the opposite. So I'm just clicking her, turning. And you can see why I'm doing it here, because she knows the TV stand is there and she can avoid it. So I don't have to use the clicker, and I'm not going to right now because I want to use food in both of my hands. So I'm standing in a corner and I have food in my left hand. I'm going to lure her that way, yes, and feed in the direction that she's going. And then I'm going to lure her to my next hand and then mark her turning with this hand. So in the first few training sessions, all I was doing was yes, marking just a tiny step, yes, and turning around, yes, to continue the circle. So that part is easy. This part where there's no barrier is hard. So you can simply just work on that half circle first. Hold on, I'm sorry, Pop-Ups. I think I'm cueing you. So at first you have the treat on the nose, yes, if that's what your dog needs. And then you can start holding the treat higher up. Yes, good job. So now I'm not just marking a tiny little bit here, yes, but I'm marking the continuation from moving from this hand to the next. Yes. Good job. Yeah, you're good. Great. Yes. So I'm moving this hand behind me and picking her up with the other hand. So there she spun. Yes, I'm just going to make it a little easier. Yes. 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 Good girl. Yes. So the next behavior I wanted to work on was teaching her to cross her paws, but she's going to be in a down on the couch. So I also wanted to work on the bow. Now I don't want to work on the down behaviors in a down just before I do the bow in case she thinks to offer downing to do cross her paws. So first I'm going to do the bow, and then I'm going to move up here to do the cross your paws so that the behaviors don't get confused. So it's perfectly fine to work on her holding the credit card and the bowing position in the same place that I practiced backward circles, because it's a whole different picture. Backward circles, I'm standing over here. When we did the hold, I'm sitting like this. And then for the bow, I'm actually going to be sitting on the ground because we haven't gotten to the point yet where I'm standing up. So there's no confusion on what she's doing. Okay. If your dog gets really confused, you can also use different rooms of the house to work on different behaviors in the same training session. Okay, Wish. So she's had a couple sessions of the bow and she's really good at it. But what I was doing is just clicking just a shoulder bend. And at first I clicked to sit, so I have to make sure that if she starts sitting again that I don't click. I'm just clicking her front shoulders. The front part of her body bending. I also found that it's different for all dogs, but I'm holding, it's a piece of kibble. I'm holding it with my thumb, and I'm moving it into her face at an angle like that to make it different from the way that I trained the down, which was, you know, a fist. So I did that for a down, and I shouldn't do it while training the bow, but as you see, this is a much different gesture than that. Okay. So I'm going to move my hand into her like that. Good girl. Good job. And once she's down, I'm going to give her tons of treats and then say, "Frick," and get more treats. Good job. I also give her a treat for the free cue, which is getting up. So I would immediately add the cue to a bow, so you can ask them to bow and stay in the position until you cue them to get up. Otherwise you get a little curtsy. Are you ready? So because we've done it in 3 training sessions, I tested to see if she could do it, but she couldn't. So I'm going to go back to just clicking the shoulder bends before seeing if I can get her to go all the way down. Good job. Awesome. I like to have their shoulders actually rest on the ground. I think it's easier for them to maintain the position. Awesome. Once you can lure your puppy into a bow, you want to start getting rid of the dog's dependence on your treat and your luring gesture. So once they're lured into the bow, you want to move your hand backwards and click that millisecond that your dog's still staying in the bow position while your hand's moving away. So now I'm going to work on cross your paws. With other exercises, like spinning to the left and the right, or roll to the left and the right, or backward circles to the left and the right, you can work on both in the same training session. So actually with backward circles, I actually worked on this side, and I also worked on the other side in the first few training sessions. So, she can do both in the same training session. It's very obvious when you're on my left side, it's back that way, and when you're on my right side, it's back the other way. So it's very obvious. However, with cross your paws, maybe you won't have this problem, but because you're crossing one paw over the other, it can be a little bit confusing depending on the method you use for teaching cross your paws. And the method I use is that I get the dog to target a lid, and I have a tutorial on this on YouTube, and then I move the lid slowly over to the other side, and I've named the paw, which is the paw that she's using is her right paw, and I named it Wave, so I'm going to give her the cue Wave and then move the object. Okay. Ready? So I'm getting her to lay down here on this corner, down, because the problem I was having is that I'm also working on roll over, and when I tried it on the mat, she would roll over instead of crossing her paws, because she really enjoys rolling over now, don't you? So to initially get the paw behavior on the target, in my video I hold treats under a yogurt lid, or, you know, this is a Nescafe coffee cap, which I really like using because they're really durable. So you shake the container around or the lid around, and you click your dog pawing at it. Then you can add a cue like Wave. So, good job. Then you can hold it so there are no treats underneath. Wave. Awesome. And then slowly I've been moving this cap over her other paw. So I've tried using my left hand to move it, and I've also tried using my right hand. And what happens is the right paw starts to do stuff. So I'm only waiting for the left paw to do something. So another thing that I found is better for her is if I'm not holding treats, because she's getting a little excited about the treats. So I have my hands clear, free of treats, and then I'm going to hold that there and mark. Yes, good job. Yes, good girl. Yes. Yes. When I held the treats in my hands, she started to shuffle. Where are those treats? Where are those treats? I need to get to them. But the fact that they're nice and stationary over here, it makes it easier for me to keep her still. So I can say Wave. And for her, this pointing gesture really helped, because this hand is the hand that I taught her to wave with. Yeah. Oh, you're not done eating. Wave? Yes. Good job. Wave? Yes. Awesome. And as you can see, I'm holding it over her other paw, so she's less likely to think to hit it with the other paw. But if she does, I'm just not going to give her a treat. Yes. Yes. Awesome. Yes. Good job. Yes. 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 Good girl. You're doing very well. Yes. And we'll stop there, because I haven't before gotten to the point where I haven't had my hand on it and she hasn't put both of her paws on it. Ouch. So if you have a dog, if you have like really delicate skin, use a bigger object. So my friend who has a husky, she used a big frisbee so that those nails don't just rake into your skin if the puppy misses the object. Okay. Again, you don't want to work on the paw exercises as the first behavior. So Wish is 5 months old. She has a huge history of other behaviors to get my attention, like a calm, settle, and eye contact, and a sit. So don't teach the paw work first, because you will regret it. Yes, you will. Okay, so now I'm going to get her to do a settle up here on this couch while I work with some other dogs. So the final thing I'm going to work on with her is jumping up and settling while I work with another dog. Good girl. Are you ready? Splashers? Paws up. Cover. Good job. She said, it's not usually how you do it. Paws up. Cover. Yes. Good girl. Wave? Yes. 5? Yes. Oh, you're so clever. This treat's so messy. You can use it pretty. Pause up.